So, next goddess is Lilith. And I'm going to be talking about mainly, I like to call her true Lilith. Not the fiend or satanic construct of Lilith, the one that's making her known as a harlot or a whore, as well as the one that is declared by the Abrahamic tradition. Her being a fiend of the night that feeds on children and also women, and pretty much possesses men to be submissive, and she goes at him like that. No, that's not Lilith. However, people will believe what they want to believe about her, whatever. In actuality, though, no. You'd be actually surprised if you stopped and think and actually pay attention to how what they say is written. Because in actuality, there's a huge key difference in the text they wrote, and they forgot one major thing. And this one major thing makes her separate from man and something else huge. With that. So, Lilith. Ultimately, Lilith is an entity that has existed for a long time. Very long time. According to the Abrahamic tradition, she was made the same time as Adam. Although it was written and noted by them that Adam was made from pure soil and Lilith was made from tainted soil. That's just a means of making women and the feminine inferior. No. Now, Adam was trying to make Lilith subservient to him and lay with her and be the one in control. Lilith responded with, "No, I'm going to be the one on top. No, I'm not getting below you." And Adam kept trying, and she just, nope, not feeling it, nope, not going to do it. So Adam, being in a little childish hissy fit, ran to God crying, saying, "Father, she's not being submissive." So Adam and God then went towards Lilith, and God demanded Lilith to become subservient and submit. Again, Lilith said the exact same thing to God like Adam. "No, I'm not submitting to him. No." God tried, and he became a little out of line. And Lilith was not going to submit. That's when she pretty much said, "Really? No. Out." And then she fled the Garden of Eden. And then that's when God put Adam to sleep and then have Eve come. Once Lilith fled, she began wandering the world. And that's why there's entities noted to like the Asian cultures, I'm not exactly entirely sure how to pronounce them in their native tongue, but there is an entity like a nine-tailed fox. I think in Chinese is Daji. That's a manifestation of Lilith, for an example. I know there's also Aphrodite. Lilith wandered the world, exploring it and realizing of how much beauty it had. At the same time, though, everywhere she went, she had this such intense despise towards Adam and God for how they treated her. And over time, she began realizing her real potential and strength. In due time, she became more vengeful and vengeful and vengeful. Then she decided to carry out her vengeance. Soon close to Adam's passing and death, Adam being pretty close to over easily, I believe, 600 years old. Either way, he was old and decrepit. Being afflicted with sin, that is when Lilith began stalking him. Sometimes things happen when you talk about Lilith like that. One of my little crystals just fell off my stand. Either way, Lilith stalked Adam, and when he was so helpless, about to pass naturally, that's when she struck and killed him. And she got her vengeance. Moral of the story: don't disrespect a woman. Don't ever step your boundary. Or anyone for that matter. Because in actuality, Lilith always does as she pleases. And if you mess with her and try and harm her, you may win temporarily, but when your back's turned, just minding your own business, just going on through life, that's when she can strike. She can be very, very, very destructive, and is extremely vengeful if you do not respect her. That in mind, Lilith is a feminine-focused goddess, meaning that she primarily looks at man the exact same level as a woman. It's the exact same. Nobody's higher, nobody's lower. However, though, not only being a feminist goddess, she is a dark one. Because to her, she doesn't allow anyone to restrict her. She does what she pleases. She doesn't care what anybody thinks. If God was to say, "You're not leaving this garden," easy response from her: "Oh, really? Really, old man? Well, watch this." She's not defiant. She respects herself. And she expects it. There's a difference. Being respectful of self always comes first, and if anyone outside of you disrespects you, no. That should never fly, whether it be at work, at home, marriage, nowhere. Someone doesn't respect you and your boundaries? Nope. Don't need it. And you don't need to be treated like that. Now, the other depictions of her, calling her a fiend or a demon, either way, Lilith is still Lilith. But saying that she is extremely hostile on her own, without any negative towards her in the first place? No. Mm-mm. If you go towards her negatively first, or you try and control, or try to manipulate her, oh no, that's when she gets you. In fact, she's the one who actually helps people during childbirth, safeguards women, and as well protects the children. So now why would someone who is feminist start going towards newborns, women during childbirth, and children, and leech and torment them? No, that doesn't make sense. Lilith as well is a seductress, an enchantress, a captivator. If you want to take it the very lustful way, you can. But at the highest point, Lilith is one to tantalize someone, as well as captivate them to go towards their true power. Take for an example. When I was working with her a few months ago, someone was not respecting my boundaries and I wasn't sticking up for myself. Got an input from her saying along the lines of, "Really now? Really? What happened to you being your true empowered self? What happened? I mean, you say you have your power back, why aren't you using it? If you have it, if you have your true self at your best, why aren't you using it? You got it, use it. Don't let this happen. If you really are who you are, kid, this person would have been long gone." Something to think about. Lilith as well is an entity that doesn't really take liking towards everybody. She, the best way to describe it is somewhat selective. One person can be with her and her and the person get along just great. There are some people that go towards her and do everything that they possibly can to gain her favor, and she doesn't respond. Or when she does come around, just, nah, not feeling it. What I can say, though, that I'm using as my evidence why she came towards me in my astrology, there's a mathematical point known as Lilith, with a shadow planet, There's also asteroid and black moon and dark moon. But I'm going with the mathematical point. I'm not entirely sure between the dark or black moon. It's one of the two, but either way. That the placement of that Lilith is in my ascendant, which can reason out. Ascendant is one's whole life, body image, way they communicate, and how they project themselves to the world. Body shape, body type, outward appearance that the world sees. Lilith is there. So, putting two together, Lilith becomes a part of my whole life, based on just that placement. And I can say it is true. For when I need or to interact with her, I call to her, and for me, she acknowledges, but she doesn't act all the time. But she acknowledges, if that makes sense. There's a difference. You can call to her and she'll never come. Again, she does what she pleases. Can't bribe her. Can't try and control her. Don't do it. Don't try. Because you'll learn like how Adam learned. Don't do it. Now, best days to work with Lilith. Monday, a new moon, half moon, full moon, any moon. Because being a dark goddess, she's a feminine. Moon, feminine. One. When carrying out acts of revenge, vengeance, combative damage, Tuesday. You may also say Saturday for the backlash, like to even the score. But her most fitting is Friday. Most resonating planet is Venus, as well as Moon. So you can use those energies from the planetary in the day. When it comes to herbs and plants, she likes the plants that intoxicate, entrance. So you're looking at jasmine, lavender, rose, patchouli, cinnamon, coriander, cardamom, as well as hyacinth. She also is tied to plants that are attractive, but you need to be careful. Like a seductress can lure you in, but if you're not careful or respect it, you can get poisoned. Take for an example, oleander, that's one. Belladonna is another. Foxglove is another one. Just be careful with those plants. But those you can relate with her. Regarding crystals and gemstones, garnet, onyx, obsidian, rhodochrosite, rhodonite, amethyst, rose jade. I would hope you would get the picture. When would you best call upon her or work with her to help improve you in the ways of your life? At the core, first one, to get your real self back. Because if you don't have that, you can't do anything. Next, she can help you get vengeance, just like Melania. She can also help you captivate another. But you have to be sure and be confident. Otherwise, she won't waste her time. With other energies, if you work with many other pantheons, most of the time, she doesn't really care. However, though, when having her around other masculine entities, ensure that there's none that'll try and restrict her, or try to stop her, or try to get in her way. Ensure that won't happen. Because if so, she is not going to be pleasant with them. Another side note, if you have a place for her and you're working with her, and if there's a masculine figure that you're interacting with or in a romantic bond with, and if there's any kind of hostility from them towards you, Lilith is not going to put up with it. In fact, she will come back and put them in their place and have them have the understanding of like, no, you're not hot shit. No. You think you're wearing the pants in this house or place? Here. Let me just show you who really is wearing the pants. She's a really good protector, but she doesn't put up with BS. She also doesn't like anyone being restricted from being who they are. If someone's a taboo breaker, she's all for it. If somebody's expressing themselves to their best and true self, she's for it. But, here's the but though. Expressing one's true self, intentionally causing harm, being spiteful, being selfish and intentionally harming someone innocent who didn't do any wrong? No, that's not Lilith. Because the construct Lilith, the one that is in the Talmud and whatnot, that's not Lilith. Lilith doesn't act like that. She only goes that route if you negatively go towards her or harm her, or at least attempt to. And now, the big thing that I was saying in the beginning. Remember when Lilith was created? Lilith and Adam were created at the same time. Different material, doesn't matter. When Lilith fled the garden, Adam and Eve disobeyed God and ate from the tree of knowledge, making the first sin. You can see where I'm going with this. Hands down, ultimately, because of Lilith not sinning or eating from the tree of knowledge, she does not have sin in her. She does not carry what I like to call it the sin virus, because the sin virus afflicted Adam and Eve. She wasn't afflicted with it. So that should blow your mind. Lilith doesn't sin. Lilith is not evil. Lilith isn't destructive purposely, because she doesn't have sin in her. Being baneful and destructive for no reason, that's sin. That's not Lilith. Mind-blowing, I know. Should have seen me when I found out too. And I figured it out. That's how you should be. Always question what people are telling you. Always question. She didn't eat off the tree of life and didn't sin. Refusing to allow someone else to push you around, that's not sin. That's self-respect. Fighting back and defending yourself, that's not sin. Harming someone just because of whatever reason, without any danger, that's sin. Not defending yourself. Not displaying and proving, no, you're gonna not cross my boundary. That's not sin. So, evidently, Lilith never sinned. Adam sinned, and God sinned. And before anybody tries to say, well, God never sins. Sorry, but not even God is free from the law of consequence. He's not. None of us are. Nothing that exists is free of the law of consequence. And I'll explain that in another video. But to make it quick and easy, his consequence for sinning and not respecting Lilith, he loses all of his creation. And by lose it, he doesn't have any control over anybody. He lost it. He lost the right and the authority to control that which he created. He doesn't deserve it anyway. Look how he treated his first two creations, primarily Lilith. Disrespected and disregarded, didn't even care about what she had to say, how she felt. Just pushed her to try and submit. Because Adam wanted to. Not good enough. Not good enough to disrespect somebody like that. So, I hope this was informative. And maybe you might be lucky to have the privilege of working alongside her. In the comments below, well, not in the comments, but below, I'll try to remember to put a link to another person that I've talked to and I've actually first approached about Lilith, and she taught me, and she kind of helped explain about Lilith towards me to make me understand her a bit more. And she has a video regarding Lilith too, which is far more in-depth than mine. And if you want to be more educated about Lilith, I heavily encourage you to go watch her video, because she'll be giving much more detail and more rightful detail than I can. I only say what I've experienced and what Lilith has told me. But if you really want to get more accurate information, watch her video. Last note before we're finished. Many say that she's the wife of Lucifer and Satan and other demons and whatnot. At least from what she told me, this is what she said. Really? Why would I want to limit myself to one? No. I don't have limits. I don't need no masculine vigor. No. I don't even want one. Why tie myself down? I'm not experiencing nothing being tied down. I'd rather be free. To do as I please. And that is Lilith.